Hey everybody, Mr. Quick here. Welcome to Math today. We're going to look at Eureka Math / Engage New York, Module 3, Lesson 8, More Ordering Integers and Other Rational Numbers. Lesson 7, we started putting these integers and rational numbers in order from least to greatest to least. Today we're going to continue that, and we're going to kind of expand it into including decimals, fractions, all kinds of good stuff, negative, positive numbers, all that fun stuff. So let's take a look at our first example. We have a bunch of numbers here. We have several numbers here. It wants us, or I'd like you to, order the numbers from least to greatest. Now, I'm going to show you my thinking. This doesn't necessarily mean this is the only way to do it. This is just how I think about it. First, I'm going to make a number line here. Okay? I'm not going to fill it in yet. But if I look, I see we have 0, -4, -1/2, 1, -3 3/5, 2, -4.1, -0.6, 23/5, 6, -1, 4.5, -5, and 2.1. As I'm looking at that, I see that basically all those numbers range anywhere. Let's see, my lowest number looks like it is maybe -5. My highest number looks like it is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and create my number line in between those two numbers. Okay, now that I've created that, I'm not going to necessarily fill it in at this point. It just wants us to put them in order from least to greatest. And I know that on a number line, as we go to the right, the numbers go from least to greatest. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of put these in two sections, and I'm going to use the number line when I need to. I'm going to put them, first of all, we see 0 is on the list, so I'm going to list 0 right here, okay? And that means that I'm currently done with 0, okay? So I'm going to continue to look at my numbers in terms of negative numbers and positive numbers, and I'm going to put them in order the best I can. I see my next number is -4, and so if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, I can put that here, and I'll go ahead and kind of fill that in on my list here. -4. -1/2 is between 0 and 1, so -1/2 would be right around here. So I'm going to fill that in as well. 1 is a positive number, so that's going to go on the right. -3 and 3/5. Well, I know that that's going back 1, 2, 3, but it doesn't go back all the way to 4. So that's going to be somewhere around here. Okay. 2, I know is going to be past the 1. -4.1. Well, if I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 0.1 is just a little bit farther back, I know that my -4.1 is going to be past my -4. And I'm going to start putting parentheses here to make this easier to look at, which is what I should have done in the first place. That's okay. -0.6. Well, I may not know exactly where that goes, but I see that I have a -1/2 here. And so I also am going to say that 0.6, if -1/2 is 0.5, it's -0.5. -0.6 would be a little bit farther back than that. So my -0.6 is going to go right in here. And ideally on a piece of paper and using a pencil, you'd have more room to write these out. I just have the space that I can, so we're making it work. Okay, 23/5. I know 5 goes into 20 4 times, so essentially that's going to be 4, and then we have 3. Denominators are the same, 4 and 3/5 left over. So 23/5 is going to be past 4. So I've got 2 here, so I'm going to put this over here. 23/5. And I'm going to mark that out, but I'm also going to have this, I'm going to keep this here in case I need to use it later, which I think that I will. 6 we know is going to be past 4. It's going to be higher than 4. -1 we know will be between 0.6 and 1, right? Or -0.6 and 3 3/5. 4.5. Well, 4 and 2, or excuse me, 4 and 3/5. 3/5, 3 is more than half of 5. 4.5 is exactly halfway between 4 and 5. 3/5 would be more than halfway between 4 and 5. So I'm going to say 4.5 here. -5, nothing goes back farther than that, so that's going to be all the way down here. And then 2.1. Positive 2.1 would be right here, because it's bigger than 2, but it's not quite as big as 4.5. Okay, so I've gone through and I've made my list, and I just did it one by one. And so now that I've done that, and if you're like me, when you do your own math on your own paper or on your iPad or whatever it is, it's okay that it looks sloppy like this. It's not okay to turn it in that way because it's really hard to see. So I'm going to just order these in a neat pattern. So we have negative, we're going least to greatest, negative 4.1, done with that. Negative 4, comma, done with that. Negative 3 and 3/5, comma, done with that. Negative 1, done with that. Negative 0.6, comma, done with that. Negative 1/2, 0, and then we get into our positive numbers. We have 1, 2, 2.1, 4.5, 23/5, and 6. So that's a lot of work, but you can use the numbers that you have and place the ones that are really obvious, and then the ones that look a little tougher, you can just figure out where those go. All right, we're going to do a couple examples here that go along with that. It says there are 3 pieces of mail in Ms. Thomas's mailbox. A bill from the phone company for $38.12, a bill from the electric company for $67.55, and a tax refund check for $25.89. So a bill is money that you owe. You don't want to get bills in the mail, but they always come, right? So a bill is money that you owe. So if you get a bill for $38.12, that means you have to pay the phone company $38.12. I wish it was that cheap, right? But a refund is awesome. That means that's money that they're giving you back. So if we're going to place these in order from least to greatest, well, first it helps to put them in terms of an actual integer, right? So if I owe $38.12, that's negative $38.12. If I owe $67.55, that would be negative $67.55 because it's money that's coming out of my account that I'm losing. But if I'm earning $25.89, that would be a positive integer, right? Or positive number, $25.89. So to put them in order from least to greatest, if this was on a number line, we had 0, we know that 38.12 would come before 67, right? You'd rather owe $38 than 67. So the smallest number here is 67.55, followed by, or excuse me, negative 67.55. That is important. Followed by negative 38.12, and then your largest number would be positive 25.89. All right. Next example. Monica, Jack, and Destiny measured their arm lengths for an experiment in science class. They compared their arm lengths to a standard length of 22 inches. The listing below shows in inches how each student's arm length compares to 22 inches. Monica was negative 1/8 of an inch, Jack was positive 1 3/4 inches, and Destiny was negative 1/2 inch. I'm just going to create a number line here and put 0. So keeping in mind, in this case, 0 represents 22 inches. It doesn't mean that their arms are 0 inches long, or, in this case, 1 3/4 inches long. It means that if, for instance, Monica's arm is 1/8 inch less than 22 inches, so she still has an almost 22 inch long arm. So we know we're going to have positive numbers, we know we're going to have negative numbers. If I ask you to compare these and put them in order from least to greatest, first things first, there's 2 negative numbers and 1 positive number. We already know the positive number will be the greatest, right? Because it's on the right of the 0. So I don't even need to place it. I can put it in order. I can put it in the last place position, or meaning the from least to greatest, it would be the last because it would be the greatest. So I'm done with Jack. Now I just need to know whose arm is bigger, Monica or Destiny. Well, two things you could do here. We could put these in terms of eighths, right? So 1/2 would be the same, or negative 1/2 would be the same as negative, oops, that's not right. Negative 4/8. Okay, so negative 4/8 is equivalent to negative 1/2. So we could say, we could make these into eighths, right? Negative 1/8, negative 2/8, negative 3/8, negative 4/8, negative 5/8, negative 6/8, negative 7/8, and negative 8/8, or negative 1. And in this case, Monica is negative 1/8, so there's Monica. Destiny is negative 4/8 because that's 1/2. She'd be here. So we see that Destiny is the farthest to the left. So in our order, we would have Destiny is the lowest. We already know Jack is the highest. That means that Monica is in the middle, and there's our order. Okay. Another way you could look at it, and that's using equivalent fractions, but you know that if we said, let's make another number line here. We have 0, here's 1, here's 2, here's negative 1, here's negative 2. I know that negative 1/2 is exactly halfway between 0 and negative 1, and that's Destiny. 1/8 is not going to be even halfway. It's going to be almost 0, right? So if you recognize that, you can go that route. Otherwise, use the equivalents. All right, that's all we're going to have time for here. We'll continue to talk more about this in class and go through some more examples together. Hopefully the video has helped. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.